Well, hello, everyone, classmates. Good evening. My name is Andriws, and I will be your speaker for tonight. Um, last year, rumors around campus announced that COF Pomona is going to transition to a semester system in 2017-2018. Many students began to question if it was the best thing for the Broncos. Up to this day, no official statement about this issue has been released. My proposition is that the semester system in COF Pomona is an ineffective alteration to the current quarter system. I'm going to inform you how the semester system is unproductive, and also then how it can affect the students and the students' interest and study habits. Also, I would compare the difference between having what's different between semester pace and quarter pace in terms of how fast they go. And lastly, I will provide you with an example of how the quarter system benefits professors, not only students but professors as well. And let me start by saying that the semester system offers fewer classes to the students, and which means there will be a small variety of classes for you guys to choose. For example, since we're having a quarter system, we have more classes. And if you're in the field of engineering and you want to take an EWS class because you think you might like that, in a quarter system, it's highly, you can't really do it because they're keeping track, they're going based on the curriculum sheet, and it's way different than the one we have right now. According to the Daily Bruin, UCLA, on the quarter system, students can comfortably take more classes for interest in more departments, allowing us as students graduate with more knowledge in different fields. This is not only beneficial for the students, but also for professors as well, because they can teach their fields that they are expert with instead of just teaching curriculum requirements. If you see it this way, as students, it takes 10 weeks for all of us to process information. When it comes to week 11, we already have finals. In the semester system, we have a unit of 16, 17 weeks, and all that information that you're going to have to retain for the final is going to have to be processed ahead of time for you to do good in your any test or quiz that you have. So it's more intense. It becomes more intense in the semester system, and I don't think that's any of you want that to happen. Also, the semester system does not give the students the quick pace that the quarter system gives us. That it provides us. The quarter system keeps the students motivated and on top of their feet. Semester system is undesirable for most of us, for the students, because we like to be on top of our things. Whenever we have everything moves quick. According to the Polypost, claims that some students prefer the quick pace that the quarter system provides, and they feel that it keeps them motivated to maintain their grades and makes the year go by faster. The quarter system requires the students to develop time management skills so they won't get behind in their classes. If you all know, having this system, it makes us to take classes more seriously. Classes become more valuable for students, for us as students, because we're not likely to skip a class because we know that it can potentially affect their grades. So having the system avoid us from having, to fall into academic lows, which leads to procrastination. So according to the Daily Bruin, and because there are fewer lectures in a period, each class is much more valuable on the quarter system, and skipping a class hurts students more. While this by no means says we don't skip classes, it means it is indeed harder to do. So having the quarter system, it's a way to remind us that we gotta be on top of our things and not skip class and actually do it because we're paying for it. Also, the semester system for professors, it diminishes their time to work efficiently in their professional and their personal lifespan. In a research done by the Polypos, according to them, another advantage that the quarter system offers is the faculty can take a period off of teaching much more easily to focus on their research, and this becomes much more difficult on the semester system. And it's not that they cannot do it, but having the quarter system allows them to have that time off so they can focus more on any personal things or any other associations or affiliations they have outside their campus. This is beneficial for all the students. Having the quarter system changing into semester system is not going to be as productive as we are right now, because I believe all of us are being pretty productive in the quarter system. It keeps us motivated, and we're doing pretty good so far. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions?
Oh, we don't have time for questions. All right, well, the subject is very clear. You give a little bit of background as to the anticipation of a change in what's going to be happening here. So, well, I understand why you're talking about it, and you actually have a very clear statement of your proposition. You preview the supporting points, but they are not really stated as claims. They are just, well, the first one is kind of stated as a claim that it's going to have an effect on productivity and student interest. But after that, it's I'm going to compare, and then I'm going to give you an example. And neither of those is claims, are claims. They are simply pieces of data that are randomly being put in the presentation. You need to support an inference with your information. I think you've got a good idea here about what the potential problems are for students. Proving it, I think, is the difficult part, because at most you cite testimony evidence from 2 student publications, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's all just opinion information. None of it is expert opinion. It's the opinion of students who are going to schools that are on the quarter system, both Cal Poly and UCLA. So it's interesting, but I'm not sure that it's exactly convincing. You keep saying that there's going to be more time or less time, depending upon which argument that you're talking about. There's going to be more opportunities to take more classes if we stick to the quarter system. There's going to be less time for people to be able to take time off if they're faculty members to do their research. And I'm not sure why that is the case, why a faculty member wouldn't be able to take 16 weeks off just the way they take 10 weeks off now if they're doing research. The notion that they would get less opportunity to do that is based on some premise that has not been clearly explained. So I didn't think that your evidence was as convincing on this as it needed to be in order to prove the particular argument. You kind of explain what the general issues are and how people see those issues, but proving them, I think, is the weak part. Also, I think it needs to be organized. Even though you set up a preview, I didn't really hear that structure in the body of the speech, and so that's a little bit problematic. The source citations that you gave, you were consistent about citing those sources, but like I said, they are not exactly overwhelming evidence. They are primarily opinion evidence on this point, and I think you need something a little bit more convincing. Have other schools made the switch? What was the outcome in those situations? I'm sure that there are plenty of schools that have been on the quarter system that have gone to a semester system. Maybe there's a report that talks about those, that kind of tracking, or it seems to me like that California, we didn't have a lot of schools that are doing on the quarter system, so there have to have been some changes that have occurred. Those would be good examples to point to, and people then say, well, since we've switched, then we have these particular problems. That would be a lot more convincing, as opposed to, I'm afraid if we switch, this will be the problem. So we've got speculative, hypothetical examples there. All right, thank you.